Have you ever walked down a street, looked at a building, and thought, wait, my eyes must be lying to me? Because nothing matches up, nothing looks straight, and yet somehow it's all real. That's exactly what happens to visitors in the Polish seaside town of Sopot, where one of the strangest architectural creations in the world seems to bend, melt, and twist right before your eyes. It's called the Crooked House, or in Polish, Krzywy Domek, and it is one of the most surreal buildings on earth. At first glance, you almost want to rub your eyes. The roof dips and swells like waves. The windows and doors curve and shrink almost as if they've been pulled out of a fairy tale illustration. The walls bulge and twist in a way that makes you wonder, is the building about to collapse? But then you realize, no, it's perfectly stable. It just looks like something straight out of a dream, or maybe a cartoon. And here's the hook. The Crooked House isn't abandoned or some kind of artistic ruin. It's a fully functional building. Inside, you'll find cafes, restaurants, shops, and even offices. People actually work here every day, surrounded by a world that looks like it has been sketched by a child with an imagination running wild. And that's exactly the point. The Crooked House was built in 2004, designed by Polish architects Sopot and Zaleski. But the inspiration goes back much further. They based their design on the fantastical illustrations of Jan Marcin Sansa, a famous Polish fairy tale illustrator, and Per Dahlberg, a Swedish artist. If you've ever looked at old children's books filled with crooked chimneys, melting walls, and playful, twisted houses, you already know the style. The architects asked a simple question: what if we made those drawings real? And so they did. Today, the Crooked House covers about 4,000 square meters, making it the centerpiece of Sopot's popular Monte Cassino Street. It's not just a building, it's a landmark, a magnet for tourists, and one of the most photographed spots in all of Poland. Think about that. Poland is filled with castles, palaces, and cathedrals, and yet this strange, modern, wavy house steals the spotlight. But here's what makes the story even better. The Crooked House isn't just a gimmick. It's a statement. It challenges the way we think about architecture. Most buildings are designed to be straight, solid, and serious. The Crooked House laughs at that idea. It says, what if buildings could be fun? What if they could make us smile? And every year, millions of tourists prove that it works. Now let's pause for a second. Why does this kind of architecture matter? Why should we care about a house that looks like it melted in the sun? Because architecture is not just about shelter, it's about expression. The Crooked House shows us that creativity can escape the page and reshape the real world. It teaches us that imagination doesn't have to stay in children's books. It can become bricks and glass. Walk inside and you'll notice something fascinating. The interior isn't as extreme as the outside, but you still feel that playful distortion. Walls curve, arches bend, and light seems to dance differently here. Shops and cafes use the space to create cozy, magical atmospheres so that having a coffee feels like stepping into a storybook. Imagine sitting down at a table, sipping your drink, while outside, tourists stop in their tracks, staring in disbelief at the building you're sitting in. And here's another hook. The Crooked House doesn't stand alone. It's part of the resident shopping center, so it tests not just a piece of art, it has a functioning piece of the city. At night, when the neon lights turn on, the building takes on an entirely new personality. The curves glow, the glass shines, and it almost feels alive, like a creature waking up under the moonlight. Some say it looks cheerful, others say it's creepy. But one thing is for sure, you can't ignore it. Let's talk about the cultural impact. Since its opening, the Crooked House has become a symbol of Sopot itself. It appears on postcards, travel blogs, Instagram feeds. It is the kind of place where people line up just to take a selfie. It has also sparked discussions in the architectural world. Some critics call it a masterpiece of postmodern design. Others dismiss it as a funhouse for tourists. But maybe that's the point. Great art always divides opinion. Now here's a fun fact. The Guinness World Records once listed the Crooked House as the world's most unusual building. Think about how many bizarre, futuristic, and strange buildings exist around the world. And yet this playful house in Poland took the crown. That tells you just how unique it really is. But beyond records and photographs, the Crooked House leaves visitors with something deeper, a sense of wonder, a reminder that not everything in life has to be straight, logical, or normal. Sometimes it's okay to bend the rules. Sometimes it's okay to live in a crooked world and still stand tall. So next time you find yourself in Poland, skip the usual tourist spots for a moment. Head to Sopot. Walk down Monte Cassino Street and let your eyes play tricks on you. Stand in front of the crooked house and ask yourself, is this building real or am I dreaming? And when you step inside, remember that you're part of the story. A story that began as a drawing in a fairy tale book and grew into one of the most iconic architectural wonders of our time. Because in the end, the crooked house is more than just a building. It's proof that imagination has no limits. It's a challenge to seriousness, and it's a wonder that will keep bending reality for generations to come.